So as far as 4th of July stories go, there's a much better one I should have told you about.
Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
So they find this girl dead on the beach.
Taxidermy man! He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I brought him!
And they think it could be from something that happened on a boat.
Like a cruise ship?
No, more like a fishing boat.
Well, I think possibly, yes, a boating accident.
That's not what you told me over the phone.
Well, this is not a boat accident.
Someone points out the details of her death.
She's very sick, but she's hopefully getting better.
But there's nothing like that native to the area.
Never had that kind of trouble in these waters.
And with this being the first case,
How do we handle this?
no one is taking it seriously. And they go on with their daily lives like this is no big deal.
Seems that the 9-year-olds from the school have been karateing the picket fences.
The local authority, Chief Brody, he immediately sees how dangerous the situation is.
Martin, you gonna shut down the beaches on your own authority?
And he wants to close the area down in hopes the problem will just go away on its own.
Beaches closed. No swimming. By order of the Amity PD.
So this politician in a hideous suit tells him that if he tells people what's really happening, that he'll cause a panic.
I don't think you appreciate the gut reaction people have to these things.
So he gets normally respected health officials to lie to make him look better.
The president's height and weight, 6 foot 3 inches tall, 239 pounds.
And you'll stand by
I'll
that?
stand by you.
I'm trying very hard to focus. You almost lost me at 239 pounds. Okay, anyway.
I was wrong. We'll have to amend our reports. No question.
But 239 pounds? Okay.
Even if it puts people in potential danger.
The president, he sleeps less than I do, and he's healthier than what I am.
There are some questions this morning about President Trump's health. Do you see something possibly neurological?
They tell Brody that it'll go away on its own.
Happened before.
Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey.
But that doesn't stop him from monitoring the situation and watching the numbers go up.
I got hit by a vampire.
It's not until the people see it firsthand to someone they know that they acknowledge the seriousness of what's happening. But even with witnesses and experts making claims, people are still denying that there's even a problem.
We don't even know. But there's proof.
Hey, shut up. These people don't want proof.
Oh, look, I can't argue with you. I can't talk to you.
All right, you don't want to listen to me, don't listen to me.
Some people don't want to accept things if they haven't seen them firsthand.
See that little Kentner boy spill out all over the dock. That's private business between you fishermen and Mrs. Kentner.
Especially if they're inconvenienced by the solution.
It's not only me because I have a motel. How do you feel?
They have a meeting to discuss a shutdown, but most small business owners object because it's going to affect them financially.
Are you going to close the beaches?
Yes, we are.
He assures them it'll only be temporary, until they can get things back to normal.
Larry, if we make an effort today, we might be able to save August.
But to calm the crowd, somebody else puts a timeline on the shutdown.
Those beaches will be open for this weekend.
Brody can't understand why people would be so concerned with money when they should be concerned with their lives.
You want to stay alive and ante up? You want to play it cheap? Be on welfare the whole winter.
You can't spend money if you're dead.
Don't you tell me my business again.
Well, these people will be safe. They're going to use other people to keep their businesses open, and they don't care about them.
What about us?
A well-known expert
You all know me.
tells the business owners they don't know what they're dealing with,
It ain't gonna be easy.
and if they trust him, he'll make the problem go away.
I can't make an accurate prediction, but it is going to be very disturbing. I will guarantee you that.
Almost immediately, people are ignoring the shutdown order, even though it puts them in direct danger. They also take advantage of other people's fears to make a profit.
Is that $3,000 bounty cash or check?
Even before we can identify who the real experts are, we already know the future of these people.
Well, none of them are going to get out of the harbor alive.
They want to limit the amount of people that come in contact with this,
Get those roadblock signs out on the highway.
so they put up a travel ban.
We've got some roadblock signs outside.
But people still flock to the area because they think nothing could possibly happen to them.
They're from all over the place.
They're all going to die.
Gathering in large groups is like chumming the waters. It's almost like you're asking for it.
They'll wish their fathers had never met their mothers.
In a large group, you have no idea who you're putting in danger.
Swampers, you crazy son of a bitch!
You may not see an effect yourself, but you could harm those around you.
Watch your slamming!
The smart thing to do would be to spread out, or social distance.
Get away from there, you goddamn fool, you!
The expert says that things are actually worse than they originally thought, and more precautions should have been taken.
And did you notify the Coast Guard about this?
But the general public think that they have the situation under control themselves.
We got it.
Why won't they listen to the experts?
What I am saying is that it may not be.
People want things to go back to normal, and they're easily convinced that things are fine if that's what they want to hear.
This has been contained because the president took action.
We can start breathing again.
Well, most people don't understand that there are different types of things.
The novel coronavirus, which we're talking about, is a respiratory virus that comes from the family of viruses that cause the common cold, MERS, and SARS.
What?
And just because you can stop one doesn't mean you can stop the other.
Okay, fine. Just bear with me, will you? Sure. Thanks.
Even though the death rate is low,
It's 100 to 1. 100 to 1.
there could still be lasting effects.
Okay, so we drink our legs.
Her doctors say she may now have asthma for life.
Doubting that the problem is resolved, an expert wants to do more tests to make sure that they're in the clear.
Maybe the only way to confirm it, huh?
But a politician doesn't want him to do more tests because he might look bad in the press.
When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people. You're going to find more cases.
I don't know, Chief. I don't know. He's very smart, very dumb.
Knowing that the officials don't want to hear bad news, an expert has to use reverse psychology to prove a theory.
It probably is, Martin. It probably is.
It's just a theory that I happen to agree with.
Families of the victims are now blaming officials for not taking action when they suspected that this could be a bigger problem.
You knew it was dangerous. My boy is dead.
Some feel really guilty about this, and others just move on like nothing happened.
Proves that you wealthy college boys don't have the education enough to admit when you're wrong.
The politicians are making it really hard to get testing done.
So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
How have you and Carl take it out tomorrow and dump it in the drink?
So they have to work around them.
I can do anything. I'm the chief of police.
And get results they're not going to like.
Is anyone eating this?
Using advanced technology, they're able to find more victims and evidence that this is a bigger problem than they thought.
Where is that?
Their evidence is declared fake news because no one else saw it.
Did you see it, Broden? No, I didn't see it.
idiot!
The people that the government put in charge of this are now yelling at them to take this more seriously.
It isn't business as usual. We cannot treat this as business as usual.
Let's be reasonable, huh?
When it's killing 70,000 Americans, he still refuses to stand up a national testing plan because he worries that it might make him look bad.
And there's no limit to what he's going to do. I mean, we've already had 3 incidents, 2 people killed inside of a week, and it's going to happen again. It happened before.
But the government is more worried about public perception, and that's already ruined at such a large scale.
Sick vandalism. That is a deliberate mutilation of a public service message.
They deflect the attention by bringing light to other issues and name-calling.
Now, I want those little paint-happy bastards caught and hung up by their Buster Browns.
Oh, the poor guy. You got to see this guy. Oh!
You ever have one do this before?
No.
There's more concern about losing supporters than there are about people losing their lives.
Look, we depend on the summer people here for our very lives.
Even though they know their safety is at risk, people still flood to the beach for the holiday.
Why would they do that?
Well, some people don't want to break tradition. Others are taking advantage of the cheaper vacation costs. And some people just don't think there's a problem at all.
This is their new hoax.
And those people have heard other potential causes.
Linking 5G technology to COVID-19.
Love to prove that, wouldn't you?
And choose to latch onto that, instead of listening to new evidence.
And it wasn't Jack the Ripper.
Politicians are now pressuring people who are normally taking precautions into doing things that could put them in danger just to make them look better. And this signifies to people that things are okay when they really aren't. The politicians are coming out and saying that there's nothing to worry about, knowing full well that's not the case.
But as you see, it's a beautiful day, the beaches are open, and the people are having a wonderful time.
Unfortunately, there's people spreading false information, which makes people not believe facts. In the face of adversity, people still act selfishly, knowing full well that weaker and older people are at higher risk.
Amity, as you know, means friendship.
But there are people out there who are willing to risk their lives to protect these people, and they should be applauded. But more people like this could survive if there weren't so many false flags directing people away from the real problem. Even though the government knows people who are directly affected by this,
My kids were on that beach too.
They still deny the severity of the problem.
It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
I think that I am familiar with the fact that you are going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you on the ass.
After seeing growing negative effects, more and more people are accepting the idea of a closure. The politicians can't understand why people are turning on them.
I was acting in in the town's best interest.
And they reluctantly let other people take control of things.
Then go out there tomorrow and see that no one gets hurt.
Even though there are multiple experts that use different techniques,
Nowadays, these kids, they take out everything. Radar, sonar, electric toothbrushes.
they agree that you don't need to rely on technology if you start with simple, basic equipment.
You put your gloves on, both of you!
Please wear a mask.
What are you, some kind of half-ass astronaut?
Even during the closures, some people's jobs are considered essential, and their families worry about them putting themselves at risk.
What jobs are those?
Well, you know, policemen, firemen, doctors, nurses, fast food workers, and in Florida, professional wrestlers.
That's just going by the book.
So these people do all the dirty work while everybody else sits on their butts complaining that they can't do anything.
Won't have to take this abuse much longer.
But the experts know that going into isolation is the best way to be.
You're going to be the only rational man left on this island after I leave tomorrow.
During this time, people could be watching TV, or fixing up their house, or starting a new hobby, learning a new skill.
Stop playing with yourself.
I didn't agree to that.
There's tons of stuff they could be doing.
Want to get drunk and fool around?
But it's not going to be pleasant.
But instead, they spend most of their time complaining about their hair.
Some bad hat, Harry.
But being with the same people in an enclosed space for an extended period of time can build a little tension. But it can also bring you closer together.
Yeah, but I'm not drunk enough to go out on the boat.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
And this really does affect us all, no matter what your background is.
I don't need this working class hero crap.
We're kind of all in the same boat, and we need to work together.
Plan A, don't go in a crowd. Plan B, if you do, make sure you wear a mask.
I got no spit.
As we see that this is a bigger problem than we thought, the experts agree that we need to take more aggressive action.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
So they feel that if they can track it, they can contain it. A rare occurrence like this is something the experts have always feared, but hoped would never happen. They know what precautions to take,
You drop that rope or you'll lose your hands.
but also know that they can backfire if not done correctly. Them seeing how strong it is up close makes them panic and start thinking of risky remedies.
You got any better suggestions?
And then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection?
That makes a lot of sense.
It'd be interesting to check that, so that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
When leaving quarantine, smart people know to cover their eyes, nose, and mouth. Others don't take these measures and fall victim. In the end, some people need the assistance of air tanks to survive.
I got it!
So that was Jaws, and it's probably my favorite 4th of July story.
Jaws was a shark, right?
Yes, Jaws is a shark.
Shark! The shark!
Did I not say that? Well, I can't think of anything in the world you could stupidly confuse that as. So you gotta subscribe, share with your friends, like the video, video.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago and I got right to my head. Wherever I'm near, on land or sea or foam, you can always hear me say.